Hello everyone and welcome back to another Final Fantasy video. My name's Brian if you're new to the channel, but if you're a part of the returning subscriber base, thank you so much for coming in and checking out today's video. Even if you're a part of the 80% who has yet to subscribe to the channel, I'm so glad you're here. Now, this video is inspired by a comment that I got yesterday on my Final Fantasy 14 one-year update video based off of focusing in on my health, family, and comedy career. So this was something I think is deserving of its own video, and that's what this video is going to be about. However, later today, a Throne and Liberty video is going to be rolling out here on the channel, so hopefully you guys, if you've been checking out that game or excited about that game, you'll check out that video later today as well. Plus, I'm going to be doing a little Star Citizen stream today during a lunch and loot, just because I've had this game all summer, haven't had a chance to play it, and I figured now is going to be a perfect time to step into that game and see what it all has to offer. But let's jump into the reasons why you clicked on this video, and let's talk about Final Fantasy 14. So the virtual universe writes, I was hoping for Final Fantasy 14 news since the game just dropped the new class, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But this video also made my day regardless. Weight loss, baby number 6, comedian success, all good news. Super happy for you, and God bless. So thank you so much for that amazing comment. This video is going to focus in on my thoughts about the latest the latest Fanfest out of EU 7.0 Final Fantasy. For those of you who have not been following the journey or didn't see yesterday's video, the TLDR is that I've lost 40 pounds, looking to lose a total of 100. And once that is all said and done, then I will consider stepping back and playing the expansion, but it will be an expansion by expansion playthrough. It won't be anything like I've done before. I got to continue to maintain that balance. I got to continue to focus in on health and family. And I think that's going to be, the best way to enjoy Final Fantasy is the way that Yoshi P has designed it and told us it's intended to be played this way. So anyhow, in Fanfest, we got a lot of stuff we've known, like the recap. Like anybody who's been following this game for a long time, I didn't find too much surprising. Now, it wasn't to say there weren't surprises, but we have the Viper, which is a new Final Fantasy original. It's the dual wielding and then turning it all into one weapon. It does feel very, in my mind, Ninja Turtle-ish, which is the hint of the first Fanfest, but the Viper in and of itself is a dual-wielding melee. Now, I'm not going to sit here and rain on anybody's parade, but anybody who knows me knows that the melee jobs aren't my bread and butter. They aren't the things that I gravitate myself towards, but I'm excited for those that are excited. I did see a lot of comments, and this could obviously be very well skewed to people who had higher expectations or were hoping for Corsair, was the lack of, like they just weren't necessarily vibing with the job itself. But I'm not worried about that. Like, it's all going to be how does it feel to play, and that's going to go into kind of the big surprises. So for me, not something that speaks to me. I was expecting them to have a caster. I was expecting the caster announcement, but that's going to be saved for Japan. So I'm excited to see what that ends up shaking itself out into, whether it's Green Mage, Time Mage, Pictomancer. I think any guess is as good as any other right now. But I'm very curious and excited to see how that rolls out. But I think the big takeaway for me, the most exciting aspect of it, was the Alliance Raid announcement. As I scratch my face, because my face itches. The Alliance Raid with Echoes of Vana'diel start to then bring up lots of questions. What does Vana'diel look like? Is this the Vana'diel? It's called Echoes of Vana'diel, which immediately makes me wonder if this is going to be an Alliance raid that takes part on the first again, or some other reflection, some other shard. We don't know what the story of 7.0 is going to entail, especially as it relates to the other reflections that are still in existence. Now, I haven't played the 6.2 to 6.5 story, so I don't know if any of that is a hint, but when it's all said and done, I will get caught up on that, later in the future. But beyond that aspect, the Echoes of Vana'diel has me very excited, and it has me hopeful that we'll see some other level of investment in Final Fantasy 11. Personally speaking, the best solution in my mind, not the cheapest or probably the most practical, but the thing that appeals to me would be to see Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14 merge their subs into one. I would love to see 11 running in the 14's engine, and so maybe this is a good way for them to do some of that work so that it's repurposed. But the cautionary player in me, the one who wants to set realistic expectations, literally goes then into, well, we know that we know Final Fantasy 12. We know Ivalice exists in the 14 world, but it exists within the raid series. We have not yet been able to go to Rabanastar. We haven't yet been able to go into those areas. So there's still plenty of this game in this world to see and explore. And honestly, like, I think if anything else, like, this is a really big reinvitation to experience the Echoes of Vana'diel. And it's one thing that I could see keeping me coming back after the expansion, or something to look forward to play once 8.0 is getting ready to roll out. Again, my plan is to play the game like Yoshi P Intense. However, if they did do a combined subscription, I think this would have me continually be subscribed and playing 11 and playing Final Fantasy 14 again. In fact, I mean, one of the weaknesses that I have, no matter what, and as people seem to catch on, is like the lack of availability and time. So my days start off at 4 in the morning, workout, family, work, all this good stuff. Get to sit down during my lunch break sometimes and make videos. And yeah, so it's the days are jam packed. So the wish list in me is that, yes, I would love to have this subscription. I'd love to see 11 brought back to consoles as well, with 14 finally coming to Xbox later this year in 2024. I don't know why I said this year. Then we can see the continued development and improvement of that in the long run. So I think Echoes is by far the biggest highlight. I think overall, then when it comes down to the other like announcements and more, yeah, this was, I think, really good for a lot of the player base. But like the Echoes for me was the biggest takeaway, and I'm very excited to see, because then they kind of go into some of the other systems, and really what it is that I think they're going to deliver a really interesting story. They promise like these really big reveals, which is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people discounting 14 and not feeling like Endwalker is living up to its expectations, all due with the planning and investment. Like, Endwalker was planned out prior to kind of this big surge pre-Shadowbringers. And then you also had the COVID aspects and lockdown and all these little challenges. And Endwalker was planned and delivered during that. Now they've seen this, they're bringing to a console, they're adding in a cloud's data center, which I'm wondering with their partnership now, or they're working more closely with Microsoft, if that is something that is enabling them to do so. And if that relationship continues to blossom, I think that's overall a very good thing for the game and its life. But also at the same time with Final Fantasy 11, I'd love for them to make just a cloud client that anybody can play. That could be the solution for console play, is a cloud client for Final Fantasy 11. It makes so much sense in my mind. But well, we'll have to wait and see. The one thing I do want to see Square Enix start to support more, which they've started to support somewhat, is GeForce Now. They've put on Octopath Traveler. They have the new Dragon Quest game that just came out in September that are both on GeForce Now. And I'm hoping that we'll see Final Fantasy 14, even Final Fantasy 11, those kind of games make their way into that environment, because then it just is going to open up accessibility as well as scalability to more devices than are currently running the game in and of itself. But anyway, hopefully none of that was disappointing. Hopefully you got a lot of joy out of this video. If you guys if you're still here with me and you haven't done so yet, I'm been challenged by my fellow comedians to grow my Instagram following. The top link in the description is for the Instagram challenge. So if you use Instagram and you don't mind dropping me a follow over there, I think that would be really, really exciting. Again, the goal is to try and grow it to 1,000 by the end of this year, and then see if I can't grow it to 2,000 sometime next year. But the first goal we got to hit right now, we're on our way to up to almost 200 or 160, 70 right now. So thank you guys so much for that support. Top link in the description for that. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care.